What are you thinking? What are you doing? Are you just going to sit right in front of me? Or are you going to sit on my lap? Oh, there you go. Now you can be a star. They love you. Do your thing. Work it. Yes. Hey guys, and welcome back to About Coffee, where we talk about all different things to do with coffee. What are you doing? And today we're going to be running through a V60 recipe, one of my favourite brewing methods, but a different recipe for you today to try out at home. With Riley having a little nap, let's put 2 minutes on the clock and I will run you through this recipe. So let's start off with our coffee. We're going to need 18 grams of coffee for this recipe. Now we're going to grind that to a medium coarseness. That is the best kind of level that we want for our V60. Now if you're not really sure what that grind size looks like, we're looking at a kind of fine table salt. That's the kind of size that you're looking for. So now we've got our coffee, let's grab our V60 and the filter paper, and before you start pouring, before you start putting that coffee in, make sure you wet your filter paper. What that does is stopping your coffee tasting like paper, as unless you really like the taste of paper, it's probably a good thing to make sure you're wetting your filter paper. So with our filter paper wet and our coffee ready to go, bung that 18 grams of coffee in, and we're going to start our first pour, which is called the bloom. What the bloom is where you release loads of gases from that freshly ground coffee. Coffee has lots of gases within it, and when you pour water over it, you'll see it start to bubble, and that's the gases being released. So for this bloom, nice and easy to remember, we're going to pour 40 grams of water, and it's going to be 40 seconds. So 40 and 40. Little tip for you, you definitely want all your grounds nice and saturated. So make sure you give your V60 a little swirl just to make sure that all those coffee grounds have been wet. So now we have hit 40 seconds, we've done our bloom, we're ready for our first proper pour. And what we're going to do is add 160 grams of water, which will total 200 grams of water overall. So go ahead and pour that in, but make sure you do really nice concentric circles, keeping it at a really steady rate. If you're struggling with pouring water at a steady rate, you may want to invest in a gooseneck kettle, as this is really going to help as it pours from the bottom and keeps a really nice steady flow of your water. Now once you've poured out that water, it's hit 200 grams, we're going to wait for 1 minute and 25 seconds before we do our final pour. And once it has hit 1 minute 25 seconds, we're going to go ahead and add another 100 grams of water to create a total of 300 grams. Again, make sure you're pouring really nice and steadily, doing it in nice circles. This just means that all your coffee is going to be nicely saturated as you do it. Once you've done that pour, just give your V60 a little tap to make sure all the grounds are nice and flat and that the water is flowing nicely over the top of them. And there we have it, and we can wait for our coffee to be brewed in our V60. Now the total brew time for this recipe is 3 minutes. So if you've struggled a little bit with the timing, where it's gone over or under, then you're going to have to adjust your grind size accordingly. So that is today's V60 recipe. So let's stop the clock. No! 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 And let's have a quick little recap of that recipe. So we're going to have 18 grams of coffee, we're going to do 40 grams of water for the bloom, and that's going to finish at 40 seconds. Then we're going to add 160 grams of water, totaling 200 grams of water. And at 1 minute 25, we're going to go ahead and add our final pour, which is 100 grams of water. Now the total brew time is going to be 3 minutes. So there we have it, a V60 recipe for you today. One of my favorite brewing methods, as I've said. So let me know in the comments down below what you think of this recipe. Let me know how you get on. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell, as we have loads of different recipes for all sorts of brewing methods coming right here to About Coffee, as well as just facts about coffee. So if you're a coffee nerd like myself, this is a great place to be. So don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode.